You keep every dollar alive or you die tonight. The number on the screen is $500 million. That money does not exist on any official record anywhere. Your job is to make sure it never does. You are not a criminal in the traditional obvious sense. You have never touched a weapon in your entire life. You have never seen a body that was not breathing. But you have signed the documents that made both happen. Your name is Eduardo Reyes, and nobody outside knows that. Inside this world, your name is simply the accountant. And tonight, the books have a problem that cannot wait. The office is ordinary in every single visible external way. Third floor of a legitimate import-export company, downtown Medellin. Actual employees downstairs, processing actual shipments of actual legal goods. Your floor has 3 people and 17 locked filing cabinets. The filing cabinets do not contain what the labels suggest. Each one holds a different layer of a different lie. And tonight, one of the lies has developed a crack. $47 million moved through the wrong shell company, a Panamanian account that should have been closed 6 months ago. Someone forgot to close it, and someone noticed it open. Not police. Not DEA. Worse than either of those options. A rival organization's financial analyst found the thread and pulled. You have 72 hours before that thread unravels everything completely. 72 hours to move $47 million invisibly again. You open the ledger that does not look like a ledger. It looks like a shipping manifest for ceramic bathroom tiles. Each tile reference number corresponds to a specific account somewhere. Each quantity column is actually a dollar amount in disguise. Each destination port is actually a bank in that country. You built this system yourself over 11 years of work. It is elegant, and it is invisible, and it is yours. And tonight it is the only thing standing between survival and collapse. You pick up the phone that only has one contact saved. The contact is listed as Ceramic Supplier Bogota in the directory. The man who answers is not a ceramic supplier, obviously. He is the man whose money this actually belongs to entirely. His voice is calm the way very dangerous things are calm. He says one sentence, and then he waits for your answer. Tell me the problem, and tell me the solution simultaneously, Eduardo. You have been preparing for this call for 6 straight hours. You do not read from notes because notes can be found. Everything lives only inside your head, and nowhere else ever. You tell him about the Panamanian account in precise clinical terms. You tell him about the rival analyst and what they found. You tell him about the 72-hour window you have. Then you tell him the solution in 3 specific sequential steps. Step 1 moves the $47 million through 4 new entities. Each entity incorporated in a different jurisdiction in the last week. All 4 jurisdictions have different information sharing agreements with each other. The money enters all 4 simultaneously, then exits all 4 simultaneously. By the time anyone traces the entry, the exits have happened. The money is now in 7 new accounts across 3 continents. None of those accounts exist in the same legal universe anymore. Step 2 involves a construction company in Cartagena, currently building condominiums. The construction company has been losing money on paper for years. That loss exists on paper because the loss was manufactured deliberately. $47 million of investment into that construction company tomorrow morning. Within 6 weeks, that investment is absorbed into legitimate construction revenue completely. The condominiums sell. The revenue is clean. The money is real. Nobody questions a construction company profit in a booming coastal property market. Step 3 is the part that requires a specific kind of trust. A Catholic diocese in a small town 3 hours from Medellin. The diocese has been receiving anonymous charitable donations for 4 years now. The priest who runs the diocese does not ask where from. He uses the money to build schools and feed hungry children. Those charitable donations appear in legitimate tax filings every single year. The remaining $3 million becomes 2 new school buildings this month. The man on the phone is silent for 11 full seconds. You have counted his silences long enough to know what they mean. 11 seconds means he is satisfied, but he will not say it. He says only one word before the line goes completely dead. Proceed. That single word is the most valuable word you own. This is the moment where most people would feel temporary relief. You feel nothing except the immediate weight of the next problem, because there is always a next problem in this specific occupation. The 47 million is not actually the real issue tonight. The real issue is the analyst who found the open account. An analyst who found it once can find other things again. An analyst who found it and told someone is more dangerous. You do not handle analysts. That is not your specific job. You pick up a different phone with a different single contact. This contact is listed as logistics in the directory only. You say 3 words: account found, analyst located. He understands completely. You put the phone down and return to the ceramic ledger. You do not think about what happens to the analyst afterward. You learned very early in this career how to not think. It is a skill more valuable than any accounting qualification you hold. The ability to look at a number and see only a number, not the thing the number represents, not the life behind it, just the number in its column doing its mathematical and numerical job. $500 million is a number in a column tonight. Not coca fields, not distribution networks, not bodies in Colombian soil, just a number that needs to balance by Friday morning completely. You pour coffee that has gone cold without you noticing the temperature. The ceramic ledger shows you the full architecture of what you built. 17 shell companies across 9 different countries and 11 jurisdictions total. 4 legitimate businesses that serve as primary laundering vehicles for cash flow. 2 real estate portfolios that have appreciated legitimately over 8 genuine years. 1 art dealership in Miami that processes $12 million per year cleanly. 1 import-export company that you are literally sitting inside right now. 1 charitable foundation that builds things and feeds people and files taxes. The foundation is your favorite part of the entire operation, honestly. Not because of the schools, not because of the hungry children fed, because a charitable foundation, audited by the government, creates perfect legal cover. Scrutinized organizations are paradoxically the cleanest places to move money through carefully. Everyone assumes the government has already looked at charitable foundation finances carefully. Nobody looks twice at an organization the government is already watching closely. You learned that specific insight in your 2nd year working this job. It was the insight that made you irreplaceable to the organization permanently. Before you, there were 3 other accountants in this specific position. The first one skimmed. He lasted 14 months before someone noticed the discrepancy. They did not fire him the way a normal employer would fire. The second one talked to a DEA informant about specific account structures. He lasted 8 months before the informant's handler made a procedural error. The third one simply made too many mistakes under too much pressure. Mistakes in this occupation are not managed with a performance improvement plan. You have lasted 11 years because you do not skim ever. You do not talk to anyone outside this room about this work. And you do not make mistakes because mistakes are not survivable here. 11 years. $500 million moved and hidden and cleaned successfully. Enough money to fund a small country's entire national budget twice over. And tonight, you are moving it again because someone left a door open. Not your door. You never leave doors open in this work. But in this organization, when something goes wrong, it is always your problem. That is the specific and particular burden of being the accountant here. Everyone's mistakes become your problem because money connects to everything else always. You pull out a second ledger hidden beneath the first one. This one is not about the organization's money at all tonight. This one is about your money. Your real, carefully accumulated personal money. $3 million across 6 accounts in 4 countries under 4 names. Built slowly over 11 years, 1 careful invisible transaction at a time. Each transaction small enough to never trigger any reporting threshold anywhere globally. Each account opened under a different legal identity with different supporting documentation. each identity supported by real passports obtained through channels you will not describe. This is your exit fund. This is your survival architecture personally. Every accountant in this position builds one if they are intelligent enough. You build it not because you plan to run necessarily, or soon. You build it because the day you need to run comes suddenly. It never announces itself with adequate warning in this particular line of work. One day, everything is fine, and the next day, everything is over. You have watched it happen to 3 predecessors and 12 other associates. The ones who had exit funds disappeared successfully into ordinary, anonymous civilian life. The ones who did not have exit funds did not disappear at all. You close the second ledger and return to the ceramic manifest carefully. The 47 million needs to start moving in 4 hours exactly. The construction company in Cartagena needs a wire instruction before dawn breaks. The 4 new shell company accounts need funding confirmation before the markets open. The diocese needs an anonymous donation notification delivered through the correct indirect channel. You begin writing instructions that look like shipping orders for ceramic tiles. Destination ports that are actually bank routing codes written in plain sight, quantities that are dollar amounts that will move before anyone reads them again. This is the work. This is what 11 years looks like practically. Not dramatic, not cinematic, not the version anyone outside imagines or portrays. Just a man in an ordinary office writing on an ordinary manifest, while $500 million waits invisibly for his specific, careful instructions. While an analyst somewhere in a rival organization checks his phone one final time, while a priest in a small town plans 2 new school buildings, while 47 shell companies across 9 countries wait for a single signal, while the man who owns all of it sleeps without any apparent concern. He sleeps because you exist. He sleeps because you have never failed. 11 years of never failing is the only reason you are alive. One failure, and that changes permanently in a way that cannot be reversed. So you do not fail. You have not failed. You will not fail. You pick up the ceramic ledger, and you begin to write instructions. The first wire moves in 3 hours and 42 minutes exactly. By the time the sun rises over Medellin, the crack will be sealed. The 47 million will be clean and distributed and completely untraceable forever. The analyst will no longer be a problem for anyone involved tonight. The books will balance. They always balance when you are the one writing. That is the job. That is the complete and entire job description. Keep the books balanced. Keep the money invisible. Keep the operation alive. And keep yourself useful enough that staying alive remains the practical, logical choice, because the day you are no longer useful is a specific kind of day. You have seen that day arrive for other people in this organization. It arrives quietly and without announcement, and it looks like an ordinary morning. And then, it does not look like anything at all anymore after that. So you work, you write, you move the numbers carefully and precisely. $500 million flowing through the architecture of your 11-year mind. Every dollar accounted for, every trail covered, every door locked behind you. You are the reason this empire does not collapse under its own weight. You are the invisible foundation that everything visible and powerful stands upon completely. No weapon, no violence, no blood on your specific and careful hands. Just numbers, just columns, just the elegant, invisible machinery of financial deception daily. Just Eduardo Reyes on the 3rd floor making the impossible look completely ordinary. Just the accountant, doing the only job he has ever truly known. And somewhere outside this window, a city sleeps without knowing you exist. And that is exactly the way it has to remain always. And that is exactly the way it will remain until it does not. And when that day comes, you already know exactly what you will do. $3 million, 6 accounts, 4 countries, 4 names, 4 passports waiting. The exit is already built. The door is already unlocked from inside. The only question that remains is whether you will need it tonight. You look at the clock on the wall above the filing cabinets. 3 hours and 39 minutes until the first wire needs to move. You pour the cold coffee out and make a fresh cup carefully. You sit back down in front of the ceramic ledger and begin. The numbers will balance. They always balance. That is why you are alive. That is why you are still here after 11 years of this. That is why tomorrow morning the sun will rise and you will see it. Not because you are lucky, not because you are protected by anyone, because you are the best at the specific thing this world needs, and the world that needs you has not finished needing you yet. When it does, you will already be gone before anyone realizes you left. $3 million knows the way, and Eduardo Reyes will follow it exactly.